Hi there, welcome to the third part of the discussion on laying the field. I hope you've gained something from the first two episodes. This time we're going to expand on what we've done, and rather than laying at one particular odds, irrespective of where that odds is, if it's odds on or in episode 2, 2.5 or thereabouts, what we're going to do is actually split our overall liability and place a number of lay the field bets at different odds. And I've already actually set up the strategy or modified the strategy to give us that. So you'll see I'm going to have 4 lay the field bets at ever decreasing odds for an overall liability each of £25. So my total liability is going to be 100, assuming only one horse gets matched in all those odds and everything else just drifts. The reason for doing this is, if you can imagine having money sat at, let's say 2.5 for example, you can imagine any one particular horse shortening in price, hitting 2.5, taking your money and bouncing back out again. Now that's obviously going to happen on occasion, but generally speaking, if you have money sitting at a particular point in the market, if your horse is shortening, it will generally go through that price and hit some smaller price as part of that process before it bounces back out. So by splitting up your overall liability into smaller lay the field bets, what you're trying to do is capitalize on that drop in odds, so that you try and maximize the benefit before that horse bounces back up in odds again. Well, that's the theory. So although I've only done 4, you could theoretically split your £100 up into 10 different lay the field bets with a liability of 10 each. Indeed, you don't even need to do it uniformly like I'm doing here. You could do 2.5, let's say, for a liability of 10, and then go 10, 20, 30, 40, for example. Or indeed you could invert that and do 40, 30, 20, 10. So that may be something that you might want to play with after you've seen this video here and some of the results. We've got 4 races for the rest of this evening, so we'll do those and see how we get on. Again, as I emphasised in the other videos, I've made no attempt to identify whether or not these races are suitable for this particular strategy or not. I'm simply picking the races in the evening as and when they come along to let you see how to go about doing it and the types of things you need to consider. Okay, so we've got a good 6 minutes or so, and it's going to be a 2 mile 7 furlong race at Worcester. So what we'll do is, as usual, I'll pause the video and we'll jump in as we approach the business end of the market. Okay, past halfway at in the 720. We should start to see things getting matched soon. I'll just let you watch the numbers whilst I shut up. Just keep in mind, have a look to see if there's anything significant that you might be able to capitalise on, just like the first 2 episodes. And I shall reveal all at the end of this video. Okay, that's the first one's getting matched. It's um, it's fairly typical, even in a long race like this. What is it? 2 miles, 7 furlongs. Uh, how late it can be before things start getting matched. So it's really in the last dying furlong or last 2 furlongs that things start to heat up. So that's okay. We're getting quite a few matched on this one, so that's good. 3 winners, or 4 in actual fact. It's just been touched, but we're still ending up with a loss uh, if we let the late of the field strategy run to its conclusion. But hopefully you notice something in that race as well. Okay, on to the next at Wolverhampton. Okay, off and running in the 7:35 at Wolverhampton. I've come in early because the odds on the favourite are actually quite short, and I suspect that we won't get much of a profit in this one. It's a novice stakes, I should say, and these frequently have a short price favourite who essentially hogs the market all the way to the finish. So let's sit back and see what happens in this one. Okay, this one's drawn to a close, and we've had a couple matched a guaranteed profit. But by now, hopefully, you've spotted what I was asking you to look out for in the past 2 episodes, and that was a classic example. If we'd let this particular sequence of LTFs to run to a conclusion, we'd be looking at £18 profit. But did you notice there that for long periods of that race, it was possible to green up for more than our final profit? I think it touched 35 at one stage that you could have greened up at. Now, if you watch back the previous 2 episodes, if memory serves me correctly, virtually every race you could have greened up early. We've got 2 races more tonight. We'll have a look at those and see if that does the same sort of thing. But congratulations to those who handed in their homework. Thank you for that. They all more or less got it, not necessarily in the same way, but the bottom line is at some stage in the race you can actually green up for a guaranteed profit without relying on all the other lays that are part of the lay the field strategy. So we've got 2 more races. We'll have a look at those, see if we get the same sort of thing. Okay, we're approaching the exciting part at Worcester, I should say. That's in the 750. There hasn't been a huge amount of movement, even though it's a nice large field. I'm sure it would be much different if it was a shorter race. But I'm expecting the favourite to be matched fairly soon, and may well go on to hold its own. But and just as I say that, it starts to drift. That's why I'm not a horse commentator. So once again, keep an eye out for the green up all button, which will appear here once the bets start to get matched, and see if we could potentially go all green by greening up. Okay, so that's the bet starting to get matched, and as you see, the green up all position is flirting with profit, and it should improve once we start getting other ones matched. That's some more coming in. Nah, it looks like the favourite's going to go on. Yeah. So that one wasn't set. It was only a marginal profit we could have gained in that particular one. Not to worry, let's move on to the last at Wolverhampton. Okay, the last race of this evening and the final example. Again, keep an eye out for the green up all market position. See if we could potentially green up at some stage during the race. This race is actually perhaps one that would be of more interest in that it's a decent sized field. It looks like a relatively competitive race. Unfortunately, it is on the all-weather with a sprint going round a bend, which by my experience isn't a good option. However, we seem to get some bets coming in quite nicely here, and there you see a green up all position. There is a potential, at least, hitting 40 there, so yeah, you could easily green up for a nice profit. And there we're now guaranteed for a profit that we've had enough matched. So that was okay. So there's the final example over a series of 3 videos. What's the takes from it? It's not a holy grail. You need to be careful with the races that you choose. Otherwise you will end up, if you just do it for every race, you will end up with a big loss. Trading or putting an LTF at low odds will gain you nice profits when it works, but you'll have more losers than you may want. You can increase the odds obviously for a smaller profit where you'll get more runners matched, but really the take is that 1, you can't apply it to every race, and 2, there's clear possibilities for greening up during the race, and quite often you'll find that your green up position will yield a bigger profit than if you were to get the minimum required runners matched to give you a profit. Obviously if you get extra runners matched at low odds, you'll get a bigger profit. It's just like a bonus, if you will. But greening up may actually provide a better long-term possibility, to be perfectly honest. Also, the odds that I chose were effectively relatively random for the purposes of demonstrating what I wanted to show you over the past 3 videos. Now that you know what I've been doing and how to go about doing it, and creating a strategy to do so, you can play about with the odds, put some higher, put some lower, and see what you feel comfortable with. There's actually a few variations on a theme I could show you. I was actually going to end the series here, but if you place a comment down below, if there's enough interest, perhaps I'll go on and do another episode or 2, because there are certainly some things I could cover in addition to what I've already done. In the meantime, happy training, and to paraphrase the Hunger Games, may the profit always be in your pocket. That was a bad pun, wasn't it? I'll stick to the trading. Cheers.